Jackson wiped the grease from his hands with a worn cloth, the familiar scent of engine oil and plasma coolant filling the cramped repair bay of Station Omega-7. The hum of the artificial gravity generators provided a steady backdrop to his work, a sound that had become as natural as breathing during his 5 years maintaining the mining station's fleet of haulers. The communication panel crackled to life. "Jackson, we've got an incoming distress signal from the outer rim." Lily's voice carried the professional calm that made her the best communications officer in the sector. "Unknown vessel requesting emergency docking." Their translation matrix seemed unusual. "Patch it through," Jackson replied, setting down his plasma wrench. The station's protocol was clear. No vessel was turned away in deep space, regardless of origin. The voice that emerged from the speakers was unlike anything in the galactic database, deep and resonant, with harmonics that seemed to vibrate through the deck plating itself. "Human station, this is. Forgive translation errors. Keeper of Ancient Flames, designation Paraxis. Request permission for emergency landing. My vessel is dying." Jackson exchanged glances with Lily through the observation window. In all their years working the rim, they'd encountered hundreds of species, silicon-based crystallites, energy beings from the Veil Nebula, even the mysterious architects with their impossible geometries. But this voice carried something different. Desperation, yes, but also a profound dignity that transcended species barriers. "Permission granted, Paraxis." "Bay 7 is open," Lily responded. "Medical teams are standing by if needed." What descended through the docking bay's atmospheric shield defied every xenobiological textbook. The creature was massive, nearly 20 feet from snout to tail, with scales that shifted color like oil on water. Its wings, now folded against its serpentine body, showed battle damage that spoke of recent conflict. But it was the eyes that stopped Jackson cold as he approached the landing bay, ancient, intelligent, and filled with a weariness that seemed to span millennia. "You are the mechanic?" The dragon's voice rumbled through translation implants, each word carefully chosen. "I have heard tales of human ingenuity. Perhaps foolish hope brought me here." Jackson nodded, his engineer's eye already cataloging the damage to the creature's biomechanical vessel. Part grown, part constructed, unlike anything in known space. "What seems to be the problem?" Paraxis lowered his great head and Jackson caught something that made his heart skip. The dragon's stomach contracted audibly, a hollow sound that spoke of prolonged hunger. "My ship body requires sustenance. The war with the Devourers has lasted 3 centuries. My people, we are the last guardians of our sector, have not fed properly in many solar cycles." The dragon paused, and when he spoke again, his mental voice was barely a whisper. "May I have leftovers, sir? I do not wish to impose, but my reserves are depleted." Jackson felt something shift in his chest as he looked into those ancient eyes. Here was a being who had fought a war longer than human civilization had existed, reduced to begging for scraps. The politeness, the dignity maintained even in desperation. It reminded him of his grandfather, a proud man who had struggled to ask for help even when times were hardest. "Lily!" Jackson called through his comm unit, never breaking eye contact with the dragon. "What do we have in the station's protein reserves?" "About 3 months' worth for the crew," came her reply. "Why?" Jackson smiled, and something seemed to pass between him and the ancient creature. "Because we're about to prove why humans have a reputation for hospitality." Within hours, Jackson had organized something unprecedented in the sector's history. Every ship captain, every trader, every mining crew within 3 parsecs contributed what they could. The Andromedan traders offered exotic fruits from their homeworld. The Centauri Collective donated processed proteins. Even the notoriously stingy Ferengi merchants opened their cargo holds. But it was Lily who provided the miracle. "Jackson," she called excitedly from the communications center, "I've been analyzing Paraxis's bioship. It's not just damaged, it's evolving. The scans show it's trying to adapt to process different types of matter for sustenance." Jackson looked up from where he was helping coordinate food deliveries. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that with the right catalyst, maybe the rare minerals we mine here, we might be able to help his ship body adapt to survive on asteroid debris instead of biological matter. He wouldn't need to hunt or scavenge anymore." When they presented the idea to Paraxis, the dragon's reaction was something Jackson would never forget. The ancient creature's eyes, older than human civilization, filled with something that transcended species. Hope. The procedure took 18 hours. Jackson worked alongside Paraxis, using human engineering principles to help guide the biomechanical adaptation. Lily coordinated with xenobiologists across 3 sectors, sharing data in real time. The dragon endured the process with stoic dignity, occasionally offering insights about his own physiology that revolutionized their understanding of biomechanical integration. When it was finished, Piraxis tested his new capabilities by consuming a chunk of iron-rich asteroid. The bioship's systems hummed with renewed vitality, scales brightening to their former lustrous glory. In 3 centuries of war, Piraxis said, his mental voice strong again, no species has shown such kindness, such ingenuity applied not for conquest, but for compassion. I understand now why the Galactic Council speaks of humans with such interest. As Jackson watched the dragon's ship rise from the docking bay, now self-sufficient and ready to return to his ancient war, he felt Lily's hand on his shoulder. "Think he'll remember this?" she asked. Jackson smiled, remembering those ancient eyes and the quiet dignity with which Piraxis had asked for help. "I think he'll remember that sometimes the greatest strength isn't in weapons or technology. It's in recognizing when someone needs help and caring enough to provide it." Above them, the dragon's ship paused in its departure, transmitting a final message. The keepers of ancient flames will remember. When humanity needs guardians, we will answer. In the vastness of space, a new alliance was born, not through conquest or trade, but through the simple human act of sharing a meal with a stranger in need.